Hey everybody, this is Darren Van Dam and you are watching Flick Connection, the show that helps you get more out of movies. And today I want to tell you about the 10 most brutal movies you can currently watch on Netflix. So this list is going to contain fight movies, movies that are bone-breakingly, skull-crushingly brutal to watch, but a ton of fun. These are all movies I recommend in order, 10 to 1, not necessarily in terms of the most brutal, even though the first pick is easily the most brutal one on this list. And before my number 10 pick, this video is sponsored by CyberGhost VPN. Later in the video, I'll tell you how they can let you watch more movies with your current Netflix subscription. But my number 10 pick is Only God Forgives. Now this stars Ryan Gosling and was directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, who is most famous for the movie Drive. He did a handful of other movies that are really good. Only God Forgives is one of his furthest reaches, meaning it's the weirdest, it's the hardest to grasp, and that can be kind of a letdown if you're expecting to just see sort of this boxing movie. That's not what this is. Ryan Gosling does play this Muay Thai instructor. He runs this fight club, and there's this police officer who's this incredible fighter, but this is much more of a like cerebral, thinky type of a movie. Not to say that that makes it very good, but the style of it is incredible. The brutality in it is very visceral at times. This is one of the more brutal ones on the list at times. And then it's just sort of this really interesting project. I didn't love it the first time I saw it, but it's because I was anticipating it so much because Drive had just come out the year prior, and this is very far away from Drive. So don't go in expecting that. And you might enjoy it, but keep in mind, this is my number 10 pick. Another one that kind of got mixed reviews from a director people like, and it's just not the type of thing that we're expecting from him, is the new Netflix original movie, 6 Underground. This stars Ryan Reynolds and a bunch of other folks, and it's directed by Michael Bay, who's most famous for, you know, obviously the Transformers movies, but Armageddon, The Rock, major action movie director. And I didn't think 6 Underground was that good of a movie in terms of the story and the delivery and everything, but Michael Bay can direct some action. There is some wild action in this movie. I ultimately kind of gave up on this movie in terms of the story and just watched it as a delivery device for the action because he shoots action very well. It's all very well orchestrated. The movie opens up with a very long car chase, and nothing about what I'm describing sounds brutal. There are moments in this that are surprisingly brutal. Not as much as some of the other ones on the list. In fact, this one's probably the least so, but there are some surprising moments in this. That said, it's a fun watch. You just have to go into something like this with the right expectations. Now my number 8 pick is the Rover. This is sort of a post-apocalyptic thing that takes place in Australia. It stars Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson. Now, I say sort of post-apocalyptic because this is sort of right on the cusp of some major collapse. It's not a zombie outbreak, it's not nuclear war as far as you can tell. In fact, they don't really explain anything. You just know there's been a major collapse. There's still sort of a military presence. It's almost exclusively men in this movie, and they are really going after each other in this movie. It's slow-paced at times. There are some very fast-paced moments. The movie overall has sort of a gradual pace to it, but when the brutality kicks in, it is visceral and feels very real, mainly as a result of how it was directed. I enjoyed this one a lot. I know a lot of you did as well. The performances from both of those guys are fantastic. The look of this movie is great, and it ultimately delivers. This is really a hidden gem. There's a few on this list, and this is certainly one of them. American Assassin was recently added to Netflix. This one had a wide theatrical release. It did okay, and it's better than I think a lot of people expected. I've already gotten some feedback on the channel, people telling me how surprised they are by this movie. Michael Keaton is the biggest star in this one, and he's training these government assassins, and it's slick. To me, this one felt like something that was just gonna be like a kind of a PG-13, formulaic, by the book kind of thing without any sort of brutality in it that all the teenagers go to see, and it's not. It's an adult movie, it's got a hard edge to it, a harder edge than you would expect, rather. And then it goes in some directions I wasn't expecting. It's a surprise of a movie. It is a crowd pleaser. It is a popcorn movie. By no means does this one like reinvent the art of filmmaking, but it's surprisingly good and one of the better, newer releases you can currently catch on Netflix. My next pick is another one of the better new releases available on Netflix, and that's The Foreigner, starring Jackie Chan. Now, the thing I really like about this one is I love Jackie Chan. I love Jackie Chan movies. I love the cheesy ones. I love the classic ones. I really love all of them. And The Foreigner is surprisingly different for him, which is perfect at this point in his life. He's really getting up there in years, but number one, he's still got it, and number two, decides to do something edgier and darker than what he's used to doing, and it works really well. He's really great here. Here he plays an older man whose daughter is killed in a IRA terrorist bombing, and he really goes on the rampage, and he is a very, very capable killer in this movie. It's really fun to watch, but also just surprising again that it's Jackie Chan doing this very gritty, dark thing. Imagine like Taken, except it's rated R. He's a much better killer than Liam Neeson, and the daughter was killed, so he's even more pissed. That's basically what you get with this movie, and it's pretty great. If you're a Jackie Chan fan, this is a must-watch. If it's been a while since you watched Jackie Chan, or maybe not as familiar with like his older like classic ones, I'm not talking about Shanghai Noon and stuff like that. I'm talking about classics like Drunken Master, Rumble in the Bronx. If you love those movies, I think you're gonna be really surprised at what he did with The Foreigner. Before moving on to my top 5 on this list, CyberGhost VPN is a VPN service. There's a ton of them out there, and they all protect your web browsing. CyberGhost is the same thing, but CyberGhost has specialized servers that allow you to access Netflix in other countries, meaning you can access more movies. They have big budget American movies that they do not show here, and likewise, if you're in another country watching this video, you're not gonna be able to watch all of these on this list. They're in America. You may have a few, but if you wanna watch all of them, CyberGhost is a great way to do it. You can get it for as low as $2.75 a month when you use the link in the description. They have a 45, not 30, 45-day money-back guarantee, great 24/7 customer service. It works on up to 7 devices simultaneously, and it's devices that are Android, Apple, Windows, almost anything you want to use, it works with CyberGhost. Like I said, check out the link in the description, get that special offer for $2.75 a month and access more movies with your current Netflix subscription. Okay, now that we're in the top 5, we're getting into some really brutal stuff here. This one is a foreign language pick. It's called Headshot, and it is a gruesome, but it's got some great fight sequences in it. Very long, well choreographed fight sequences. And the thing I like about movies like this is it's not just fighting. Like, I love good fight scenes, but there's gunplay in this one, there's blood, there's machetes. It is rough. I'm not kidding, this is a rough watch. It's got some horror movie elements to it. Not that it's scary, but like the special effects, makeup and stuff is horror movie level stuff at times. It's a lot of fun to watch. Iko Uwaisis, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He's an amazing fighter and a good actor. You'll recognize him from the Raid series. This one, I don't want to say it's as good as the Raid series, but it is damn close. Like, it is as close as you can get without being quite as good. That's the best way I can put it. That said, if you're a fan of either of the Raid movies, you're gonna love Headshot, and you're gonna be surprised you haven't seen it yet.
Weapons down, stand against the back wall. Let's go in.
All right, my next pick is one of the least brutal ones on this list, but it's also one of the better movies. It's called Starred Up. This is a prison flick. that is really fantastic. It's surprisingly good. A young man is put into prison. His father, played by Ben Mendelsohn, is also in there. And it's just a good prison movie. But then, you know, this kid is rough. He does not let the guards come in without a fight. But this one feels real. There's some genital biting that goes on in this one. There's some baby oil fights, there's some blood, there's some, oh my god, this one, it's got its moments, and then again, on top of all that, it's just a good, solid prison movie. I would put this one in like top 10 prison movies ever made, probably near the back end of that list, but still, top 10 ever made, I think it probably makes that list. My next pick is a revenge flick called Bad Day for the Cut. This one is about an older man whose mother, very elderly mother, is murdered, and similar to The Foreigner, he just goes on a rampage. And he's a farmer, so he starts off with a shotgun, he upgrades to an iron at one point, and it's got some good characters. It's got some really good, like, I guess we'll call them interrogation scenes. Again, think like Liam Neeson, only I thought this one was just really well executed, and it's all done with people you're not gonna recognize, which I love when that's done well. I'm not just thinking, oh, that's Liam Neeson doing that. I'm thinking, this feels more real, and Bad Day for the Cut is a great example of that. On top of it just being a really well-written, well-acted revenge flick that takes place in Ireland, it's good stuff.
As the months and the weeks rolled by, I slowly but surely turned myself into what you see before you now. A hardened, rusty nail.
All right, so I've been familiar with Scott Adkins for a while. He's been a long time stuntman, fight choreographer. He's in a ton of movies, some big movies and very, very small roles, but I had no idea that the movies he was currently making and starring in, meaning he's producing them and starring in them, are as good as they are. And there's a bunch of them on Netflix, the best one being Avengement. This one, I gotta give props. I got multiple comments from viewers on the channel to watch this movie. I finally got around to it, and I hate that I waited so long. This one is like a Guy Ritchie movie mixed with Brawl and Cell Block 99. It's so surprising. Now, I'm in danger of hyping it up too much. Keep in mind, I went into this one expecting nothing. I was pleasantly surprised. It's got some funky vibes to it. Scott Adkins plays this guy who is rough. I mean, brutal criminal that escapes from prison. And I don't want to say goes on the rampage. There's a lot more to the story than that. A lot of it takes place in this pub. Again, it's got a very Guy Ritchie vibe to it without really feeling like a ripoff of Guy Ritchie. This one lives within the world of low budget, straight to streaming action movies, and in that world, this movie is like the godfather of low budget, straight to streaming action movies. Now, before getting onto my top pick, I've got a couple of honorable mentions that are other Scott Adkins movies currently on Netflix. One of them is BOYKA, Undisputed. This one didn't make the list because it's not for everybody. MMA fans will really like this one. He plays a fighter. He's shredded and swole as fuck in this movie, and he plays an underground fighter. There's some really great fight scenes in this one, and the reason I say that they're great is there's no cuts in a lot of these fight scenes, and that goes for Headshot and some of the other fight-centric movies on this list. There's not a lot of editing, so you're seeing the hits in the fight. It's a great way to film fighting. So BOYKA is good for those types of fans. If you like MMA, you like those types of movies, you're gonna like it. If you don't, there's not a ton there for you. It's a little cheesy at times, but I really liked it. And then The Debt Collector is another really good movie. The only reason it doesn't make this list is it's not overly brutal. In that one, Scott Adkins plays a martial arts instructor that is hard up for money and needs to work for a debt collector, needs to work for the mob to go collect debts. It's fun. It's, again, low budget, it's low rent, but keeping that in mind, it's a very enjoyable movie, and it's got some great performances considering, again, it's this like low budget straight to streaming thing. Generally those movies are cheesy, they've got decent action, but it's shot poorly, the performances are piss poor, like it's its own genre, and these are just really fantastic within that world. All right, my last pick on the list, some of you are anticipating it, The Night Comes... That ain't working. All right, my last one on the list. Some of you are anticipating it. The Night Comes For Us. This is a Netflix original. It's one of the best Netflix originals on the platform, particularly if you clicked on this video, you want to see some brutal stuff. The Night Comes For Us is one of the most brutal movies I've ever seen. It's in the spirit of The Raid, it's got some of the same actors in it, and it is non-stop. Now, when I say non-stop, it takes a little bit of time getting in, maybe 20 minutes or so. In fact, I was kind of getting a little bored with it, wanted to give up on it. As soon as the action really kicks off, like when it really kicks off, it almost does not stop. It is wild. Again, gunplay, machetes, knives, fists, broken bones, blood, cuts, bruises, bullet holes, it is loaded and it's all done really well. It's not just nonsense. It's just a wild, wild stuff. I love this one. Let me know in the comments which ones you plan on watching. I'd also like to thank the Patreon supporters. These are the folks that are donating their hard-earned money to help make this channel better, to allow me to do things like, I don't know, let's say special effects. But I will keep making videos like this one without all the bruises and cuts, as long as you keep watching them. Thanks for watching this episode, and you will see me on the next one.